In our next video tutorial, we're going to have a look at formatting shapes. Okay, so I'm going to start by opening up Word, and I've got an example file there, formatting shapes, which I will open straight away. Okay, so we've got 4 boxes on there. They're all exactly the same at the moment. This time, what I want to do is make them look a little bit more interesting, give them a little bit of a zing there. Okay, so I'm going to select one of my shapes. And of course, as soon as I select the shape, I get the context sensitive tab, Drawing Tools at the top. Let's click on that, our single format tab, and our shape formatting tools are on the left hand side in the shape style group here. Now it depends how much effort you want to put into this, but the quickest way of formatting a shape is to use the shape styles gallery here. So if I drop that down, you can see a range of preset styles. Okay, so we've got different colors. Some of these also have various effects on them. So down at the bottom there, you can see that these ones here have got a little shadow effect, and I'm getting gradient fills with those as well. I'm going to go up the top. I'm just going to make that a standard yellow fill. Okay, I could click another shape and then quickly apply a standard fill to it. Okay, now if you've got a little bit more time to waste, of course, we can take a little bit more control over the appearance of the shape to the right by changing the shape fill here. I can now pick the colour that I want, and you can see I'm getting a live preview at that point. Okay, but a bit further down, I can then choose a gradient fill. Okay, so gradient fill will put in 2 colours so that you can see it's fading from a darker yellow to a lighter yellow in the corner there. So gradient fill, or back to shape fill, a textured fill perhaps. Okay, so I can apply a textured fill to the shape. I think I'm going to go back to a gradient fill. So back to a gradient fill like that. I've also got control over the border of the shape. Okay, so the first thing I might want to do is make the border a little bit more pronounced, make it thicker. So if I go up to Shape Outline, I can change the weight of the border. Give it a click and I've now got a thick border. Shape Outline again. I can change the style of the border. So dotted lines, dashed lines. I think I'll stick with a solid line, and then up at the top change the colour of the border. There you go. We've also got a range of special effects that can be applied. Now you may have seen these on pictures earlier, but shape effects, we've got some presets, collections of predefined special effects, but a little bit below, shadow effects, reflection effects, glowing edges, soft edges, and bevels. Okay, so the bevels allow us to give a little bit of a sort of 3-dimensional feel to the shape. Okay, and we've also got 3-dimensional rotation. Lots of fun there for the people who've got the time, of course. Now if you've got even more time on your hand and you really want to go to town formatting a particular shape, let's go for this top left hand one this time. We can click the More button at the bottom right hand corner there. So Format Shape. The Format Shape panel will open up. You can see that we've got three sections here. First of all, Fill and Line, Shape Effects, okay, and overall properties and layout for the shape itself right there. Okay, let's have a look at some of the fill and line effects. So if I want a little bit more control over the border of this shape, the selected shape, I'll go to line there. Okay, I want to drop that down. I can go from no line, a solid line, or if I want a gradient line as well. But for the solid line, I can adjust the color of the line there, the transparency of the line, and full control of the width this time. So let's make that a little bit thicker. So a much thicker line there, and then underneath a compound line. Okay, and this is how we can apply double or triple borders. So I'm going to go for a double border on that, and the final item I'm going to change there is the join type. Okay, so rather than a mitered join, I'm going to go for a rounded corner there, and you can see a slightly rounded corner on that shape as opposed to the very sharp mitered corner on this shape. Okay, so let's select that again. some line options, and then we get a similar set of options for the fill. Okay, just more of them. So again, no fill, a solid fill, gradient fill, or a picture or textured fill. Okay, so I'm going to go for a gradient fill. We have some gradient presets there, okay, but I want to design my own. I can choose the type of fill. Is it going to be linear, say left to right, or radial from the middle or a corner outwards? I'm going to go for a linear. The direction of the linear fill, I'm going to go for linear right. I can adjust the angle of that myself, okay, and then down at the bottom, the way the gradient works is each of these little steps here can be assigned a color. So if I go to my left hand one there, I want the left hand color to be a light blue, the right hand color to be a much darker blue, and the ones in the middle are going to go slightly different shades of blue. Okay, like that. And as I move these shapes around, you can see that that affects the appearance of that color in the gradient. Okay, now each of these steps, as we've seen, can be assigned a color. The position here is just the position of that step on the run. Okay, but we can then set a transparency for each of those. Let's apply transparency to all of them like that, and adjust the brightness for each one. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that that's at the front, so I'm going to tell it to bring this to the front, and hopefully when I position that over the other shapes, you can see each of those gradient colors is now transparent. Okay, we'll put it back up there. Now, of course, it depends how much time you've got, because we could waste an awful lot of time fine-tuning the appearance of our shape like that. Okay, we have similar options for each of the shape effects there, and we're not going to run through all of those. It'll take just too long. Now, the final thing, having got a perfectly formatted shape, how do I get the same format onto the other shapes? Well, it would have been much easier for me to make sure I selected each of those shapes, but I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Home tab and use the Format Painter. So I select a shape that has the format that I like, double click the Format Painter, and then I can quickly paste the format of that first shape onto all of the others like that. Remembering to deselect the Format Painter. Okay, and there are my shapes formatted. Hope you found that useful. Look forward to seeing you on the next video tutorial.